Live. Hey guys.
Everybody.
Hello.
Hey. Cool. So, prior to the break, we had Ernest peering down the hallway, looking to see what else was down there.
Just to see, what else is around other than the hieroglyphs.
Okay. Yeah. So, let's see. I think that would be a basic perception test.
Is there an
Ob 2.
Okay. And I do not have anything that I think would be applicable.
What's a stat?
That is also true.
Cool.
Okay.
So you made it. Cool. So as you peer down, you sort of see off the sides of the walls maybe every 30 feet or so, little glints coming off the wall from your torchlight, which you might think would be coming from, say, glass or something else that's shiny. And it looks like the end of the hallway that's about, I want to say, did I already say the...
You said 50, 60 feet.
Okay, yeah, so about at the end there, it looks like it comes out to a larger opening hallway. Not hallway, but like room or something.
Room. Okay.
It looks like it goes into a bigger facility.
Okay. So yeah, I call back at that point. Lord W, there's another room here. And then I think let's cut back to see what he found out from the hieroglyphs.
Right.
Okay.
So I guess, yeah, as you're doing that, we have Lord W peering through the wall and trying to figure some stuff out about what's going on, but he couldn't quite place where any of this stuff is. Well, let's see if you could still sort of ascertain some sort of idea of what it's talking about, even though you don't know the origin of it.
Did you want ancient languages or ancient history or obscure history?
Ancient or obscure, up to you.
Okay.
Okay.
This will be a graduated test.
Okay. I'm forking in
because you're trying to just figure out how much you can skim off of it.
I'm going to fork in ancient history, ancient languages.
Can you fork symbology in a link test where you already failed your symbology roll?
Yes.
Symbology and sorcery wise.
Okay. And you have to beat at least an Ob 2 to learn anything because you failed before. Cool.
Okay.
So you got about an Ob 3 success on that? Is that how I roll it?
It's Obs 4 because the base Obs is 1.
4.
Right? Because if you roll 1,
then
you still learn whatever was at 1. So it just subtracts 1.
Right. Okay. Right, so Ob 4. Right.
And these are always routine tests, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, peering through all of this, you sort of have... It's a lot of warnings and signs of protection. Saying, stay away from this area. It should not be desecrated or ventured into. Stop before you enter anything. And you see, it seems to reference something you're not sure of, but you want to say Keelden?
Keelden?
So, there's something about Keelden and Keelden's body that you're not entirely sure of, but something about dire consequences of
disturbing the body. Yes.
Right.
I don't know who this Keelden person is. Yeah, so I call out, don't disturb any of the bodies you find in there. And I look out. Nico,
yeah, I'm just sort of looking at you like bodies.
I'm still outside.
I wasn't expecting to find bodies.
I gesture for Nico to come closer so I don't have to shout. And then I say, apparently this is a tomb of someone named Keelden. And
Keladin, not Kilden.
okay,
I'm sorry.
Keladin.
Kaladin?
Someone named Keladin. And we don't want to disturb his body. Apparently, will suffer grave harm. And
Some of us already have.
yeah. Did you
Sir, there's
see
something
any-
else you should know.
What?
I was looking around. I saw more glints of what looked like glass. I don't think we should disturb those walls.
The walls? Yes, it's probably a good idea.
Wait a sec. The hieroglyphs, some of the hieroglyphs that we're reading now were behind the wall? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
on second hand, we might wander from a distance where it's safe. Disturb the walls. That'll destroy the hieroglyphs, though.
I kind of heft my bow a little bit in response to that.
Are the glass orbs built into the hieroglyphs?
I saw a glint of glass. I'm not sure if I saw any glass orbs.
Are you
well-
sure Keladin's a name and not a thing?
It could be a thing.
I was under the impression you haven't ventured far into the hallway that I was saying that was there.
I haven't.
Sure.
And you kind of made right. So like maybe only going 10 feet in, you're not exactly sure, but you could see like sort of glass glints of something shiny in the walls. But no
Yeah,
one's, like,
I
seeing,
specifically
like-
haven't gotten close enough, just in case.
right.
Hmm.
So,
Do you want to shoot an arrow at one? See what happens?
No.
I'd like to know what I'm shooting at first. And
Are
I
any of these?
Sorry.
suppose I like.
I will go closer if you order me to, sir.
Alright.
That's my job.
So there was a wall at the end of the. It's like this short alcove, right? That was open to the elements, and then there was a wall, and on this wall there were glass orbs embedded inside of it, and that wall is now collapsed. What happened to the glass orbs that were in there, or was just one?
they all broke. That was the
Okay. So while I've been translating these ruins, I've been going back and forth over these glass fragments
okay.
because you
Is that
said
right, or is it
that,
side?
you said that the amount of glass that was outside was only amount for one orb, right? And there were many orbs that are broken. Am I understanding right?
Right. Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
So all the orbs broke at once, whatever happened. This inclines me to think that we shouldn't break the orbs.
Very well, sir. Should we just proceed? Be careful.
If these orbs were set off and they exploded on touch, then I would imagine that lining the walls of a corridor with explosive orbs would be an awful great way to collapse the tunnel on anybody walking through it.
So don't touch the walls, then.
Well, of course, if this is a tomb, they want to prevent grave robbers.
Right. There also might be a way to disable the orbs. I could keep reading these runes and just go up to the orbs and see if I can read anything that tells me how to disable them.
That is very dangerous, sir.
This job is dangerous. You don't learn
I'm just-
anything without a little danger.
I'm just silent.
Okay.
How wide is this corridor?
It's probably 7 or 8 feet wide.
Okay. So Nico just grabs his torch and walks down the middle and just walks down the hallway.
Nico, you're going to die.
Hold on. I'm doing a little doodle. There we go. Okay. So I did this little doodle here that you guys can kind of see.
All right.
where there's like rubble and the hallway you're in.
Okay, cool. And we managed to clear part of it, so we can go through that. And there's like a small alcove past
Right.
that. Okay. Very well. Sir, should I stop him?
No. If he
Should I
dies,
follow him?
he knows the risks. No, let's just wait here.
I nod, and yeah, we wait to see if Nico dies.
Yeah. So Nico like walks down the middle of the hallway, careful not to brush up against anything protruding from the walls.
Right.
Little did you
yeah,
know
you-
that these orbs are lasers.
Or in the floors.
It's like, have you seen that scene from Neverending Story with the line?
Shit.
No, nothing really happened. You know, you kind of go down and you see as you go down, right? Like as you go about here and further down, that like
That's where the,
you know,
okay.
there's little softball-sized orbs of glass that look a little murky to you, but nothing seems to happen.
All right.
As you
Yeah,
walk down.
I'm just gonna keep walking to the. I guess there's an end of the hallway, like right down here.
Yeah.
And I'll see what's down.
You have a torch. Do you have your own torch? I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't have walked in here without one. So.
Yeah, so as you get to the end, it opens up into this big antechamber. That's probably 60 feet wide and probably a good 15 feet tall. So it seems like you're like further into like a cliffside or something now, right? But upon merging, it's not empty. There's, in addition to like lots of dust and cobwebs and various other things that happen in
Rats and
old
stuff,
buildings, right? As you approach the room, you start getting this odd smell. And you can't quite place it, but it seems familiar to you in some way. And maybe Ernest has some familiarity to the smell as well. But as you no. As you approach, it appears there's a huge amount of piles of stuff around the floor. And the floor seems to have a coating of something that you're not sure of.
Okay. I'm not going to put my torch down close to it, but enough that I can see what's on the floor. Is there a shimmer to it at all? Is there this coating?
There's not much of a shimmer, but if you approach it, it looks kind of like a powdery red substance of some sort. And you're beginning to
all right.
You're beginning to notice the smell you have is kind of metallic in nature.
It's like copper or something. Copper's more
great.
brown than red.
10 minutes till I get lockjaw. Wonderful. All right. So yeah, I guess with my gloved hand, I'll like wipe my finger on the red powder and like bring it up and like check it out.
Okay. Yeah,
Does it start eating through my glove or anything?
No. It sort of is clumpy, and you can't quite tell if it looks like it's rust colored or not. There should be some sort of test here, but I'm not sure what
Metallurgy.
test.
Probably a wise.
Yeah, maybe a wise of some sort.
Yeah, I have no wises.
None?
None. I mean,
Let me load up, see what you have, and I can
perception it. That's about the only like
right.
evaluating skill I have.
Let's see here.
Observation, but that's a
Yeah.
versus thing. So
I'm not there, so if it is familiar, I don't smell it yet. Or it would be
Yeah,
familiar to me.
I'll
Right.
call back that there's some kind of smell
be
down
rust.
here, and there's shit all over the floor. You might want to come check this out.
I just
Alright.
look at Lord W, see what he says.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I
You
guess
can
it's
touch
just
the
a-
fucking walls.
I guess it's just a perception test.
Okay.
Sorry.
And yeah, as you're doing that, you can hear the footsteps of us coming closer.
Yeah.
Ob.
This would be kind of weird. 3?
Okay.
Uh,
Give it a shot. Did I make it?
Ooh.
Nope. I don't know what the hell this is.
okay. Yeah.
Here's some red stuff on here, guys. You want to check it out? I don't know.
Uh, Ernest can try his own because he definitely has some stuff that would fork into it.
Okay. What would that
Except
be?
it's a stat, so never mind.
Is there
Yeah.
a skill I can just roll?
Field dressing.
Field dressing? Okay. Is it the same ob or a different ob?
Up to.
Ob 2? Okay.
And you could fork in like soldiering or some other stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I will. Oops, I don't want to. Oops, I added another skill, I think. I'll delete that after. I have Soldier Wise and Soldiering.
Soldiering, but not soldier wise.
Okay. And Ob 2. What?
Wow.
It may be familiar to me, but I can't. Maybe it even isn't that.
It's one of those things where like it is gnawing at you. There is something familiar about the smell,
Yeah.
and you cannot place it. You know, like that, like a song that gets stuck in your head, and you're like, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's something like that.
And I'll probably learn it due to suffering its bad effects eventually. Be like, oh yeah, it's poison, guys, and I'm like pouring the powder off of my hand.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
it's poison
putting
that
it
kills
on
you
your
when you touch
food.
it.
Yeah.
The day after.
Silent Osiris might have his leprosy, but I've got tetanus, guys.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I like what this looks like is that Ernest like kneels down and he does like touch some of the powder and like rub it in between his hands.
Yeah.
We should
I'm not sure what this is. It looks.
take a sample.
I should
of
know, but yeah, he's
Right.
visibly like exactly what Sith described. Knows but can't remember.
Yeah. And it like when you put it through your hands, like it feels like a sort of metallic powder. Like it doesn't like it's not corrosive or anything. Like it's not going through your hand or anything. So you don't think it's detrimental to your health, but
Yeah,
something is very odd about it.
I think he thinks is it rust? Does it look like rusted metal?
It has a vibe of rust, but it's not quite rust. You're like, there's some element I'm missing to this,
Okay, yeah,
but there is sort of like a small, like iron kind of smell to it. But you're positive this is not iron.
okay.
Has they
I
exploded
think he
yet?
tries to like he just like shakes his head and closes his eyes and tries to sort of like get that out of his brain while we deal with the other stuff and maybe come back to that later.
Okay. Yeah. So So like besides that, it looks like there's random piles, like almost. It's very oddly symmetrically placed everywhere. It's like almost like it's a very grid-like pattern. And I'm sure there's other things in the room, but I'm not sure how closely you're looking.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take a look at the piles of stuff and
Okay.
poke around.
Yeah, I get like a little paper envelope, and I tell Ernest to put a little bit in the envelope for later analysis.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, yeah, I do that.
I've got a mirror and a credit card back at camp. We can figure out what this is.
MacGyvering is a skill, right?
MacGyver Wise is a skill.
Yeah. MacGyver Wise
True.
is totally a skill.
What would MacGyver do?
All right. So as Nico approaches one of them, you said you poke it or
I'm gonna poke
What?
around. Like I'm
Poke
gonna look
around.
around. Yes,
Okay.
I'm not actually going to like put my hands on it until I know what it is.
I think I am worried. I have my suspicions.
As as you sort of walk around it, making little footprints in the red powder and everything, you seem to notice that it actually appears to be a very, very dry, desiccated corpse. That is very fragile and frail at this point.
But they're all like symmetrically shaped or like in poses.
They're all placed symmetrically, like in the room.
Oh, okay. So they were arranged like this. They're not just like
They didn't
all over the place
This
willy
might
nilly.
be the crypt and the bodies themselves.
Right.
Okay.
They all seem to be facing in the same direction, though.
Which way?
Further in. So, like on the other side, there appears to be some sort of double-sided door, right?
Do I get a sense of like this is kind of like I'm kind of thinking like the Terracotta Warriors, like they're arranged like that, or are they more just?
It's more sparsely spread out than that, but yeah, kind of
Okay.
a vibe like that. Totally,
Okay.
totally get that vibe. Except it's actual, like
Except
They're not
bodies.
like- it's bodies, not bodies inside statues or anything.
There's like
Are
a
they?
And they're all-
dozen of foot-high piles of red dust.
I
there's
don't.
not-
I don't think the
there's
red
no
dust
piles
was the
of dust.
piles. It was
Yeah.
the
It's
bodies.
just coated across the entire floor.
Yeah,
The piles are the bodies.
Okay.
I'm more just dried blood.
It's
but
just you couldn't immediately
don't
identify
think-
it as a body because like it is like sunken in
Right.
so much.
Right.
yeah, I don't
they're
think
that
that's
old.
normally dried blood. Dried blood is like brown, so I don't know what's up with that.
It'd be weird to have the blood evenly distributed across the floor too.
Yeah, exactly.
It could have been like
Yeah.
wrappings or something. Is there like a breeze in this room at all?
There's no breeze. In
Yeah.
fact, you almost thought there was no air in here at all until the cave-in.
It's probably like quite
Yeah.
hot, I imagine.
Pretty
Yes,
stuffy.
it's definitely getting a bit stuffy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't know what the rest of you are doing, but I'm probably winding my way after we like figure out that these are bodies and piles. I'm probably winding my way over to that door slowly,
Okay.
being careful not to disturb anything.
Yeah.
Do you want to put on masks?
I'm like very purposefully letting you do everything first and take the brunt of the risk. Ernest is, without touching the corpses, he's going to like just look over them. Are they identically dressed, or are their clothes at all?
They are
corpses?
all identically dressed, and they're actually all in the same position as well.
Okay.
It's sort of like they're all kneeling with their hands out in front of them, sort of almost like what is like the resting dog or that yoga pose.
Mm.
Okay.
So
Whatever.
they're like prostrated.
Yeah.
Somewhat, yeah. Except that like their knees are folded in up to their chest, right?
Oh, okay.
Almost like the we're not worthy type pose,
Yeah,
right? When
like-
they're like
yeah,
all the way
like-
on the
Grovel.
on the ground. Yeah.
It's definitely looks like a posture of worship, and that's how they
Yeah.
died, or that's how they were placed after death.
Right, right. If Ernest is looking a little bit more, can you give me a perception check?
Sure.
Up to.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow.
So around the bodies, actually, as they're kind of like shuffling around, and more of the powder's been moved around, you actually notice that there are actually grooves in the floor everywhere, and that everyone's arms are right over grooves.
They slit the wrists over the grooves.
I think
So this is something to do with blood, the red powder, but it's not regular blood. Regular blood looks different.
I take out some like little strips of linen and tell you guys to wrap it around your faces so you don't breathe in this dust.
Okay. Yeah, Ernest does
I
just
did the
that.
same myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is there any furniture in this room?
Nope.
Sir,
Just the door at the end of the tunnel. Okay.
all these
Yeah.
corpses slit their wrists and died right here in this chamber. If
It
you
sounds
look, and I
like
like
human
brush my feet,
sacrifice.
and I gestures one of the grooves.
Didn't
These are all.
isn't a? Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it, Ernest.
I basically just explained that in a couple of sentences.
I was curious though how this reacts with how the Russians treat blood as a noble thing, and how that sort of affects.
Oh yeah, because they have like a superstition
Well,
about that.
I don't know about this superstition. Tell me about it.
Well, it was just that you last week you were mentioning that like your culture really prided itself on how blood is treated. And
Oh, yeah.
all this other stuff, and also like you have the superstitious trait like twice.
Right.
So I was wondering how this affects.
I think it's holy blood.
Edwin.
And I guess I could see that if the blood was power, then if all these people slit their wrists, I'm guessing that they would either have used the blood to seal away whatever is behind that door, or to like empower whatever is beyond that door. And I think the only way to find out is to examine the door.
Okay.
Well,
If
Nico wants to. Oh, go ahead.
if they're like, if they were like finely dressed, or if I saw like expensive like gold or jewelry laying around by their bodies, I'd be more inclined to think that they were nobles. But if it's just like bodies wrapped in robes, I probably would think that they're just cult members that killed themselves.
Okay. Yeah, you don't notice any like finery or jewels or anything. It's just
Right.
very, very simple dressing garb.
Yeah, so Nico back traces a little bit and starts like following the line of these grooves to figure out where they're going.
Okay. They all start. It seems like they're all making their way towards the door.
Okay.
Shame we buried that guy who was bleeding so much.
Yeah.
We have two more right outside. They're just as expendable.
We've all got blood here, guys. So
There's
I'll
a
go.
yak full of it.
Don't even think about it.
That Grenda is not expendable. We both just like look at you.
Grenda is so important. You don't even know.
The chosen yak.
The chosen yak. That yak's blood goes back 15 generations. She was said to have been sired by the original god of yaks.
She is the proto yak.
She is the first yak, the mother yak.
The first yak, yep.
She will bring about the return of yaks to once again rule the earth under with an iron fist.
If that yak ever speaks, let me know.
I will.
All right. So I go and I investigate the door.
Okay. So the door, it's a lot thicker. It's actually made of stone.
Okay.
And interspersed in the middle is 4 glass orbs.
Okay.
And there's a ton of like filigree and more of those symbols, right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do the grooves in the floor that the blood would go in? Do they go underneath the door, or do they seem to like stop and make some kind of puddle at the base of the door?
They sort of all come together into like a little shallow dish right before the door, but you're not sure if it goes underneath the door or if it stops at the door.
If it continues on past that, okay.
Right.
So it literally
The
goes
powder
up to
does-
the door. Okay.
Yeah, the powder does go up to the door at least.
Is there powder on the vertical side of the door?
No.
Okay. All right. Is there anything like to read on the door at all?
Yeah. It
Okay,
totally is.
I want to try and read it.
All right. Yeah. So let's see here. You can go for either an OB 3 or an OB 5.
What's the consequences for failure?
Consequence for failure here is just you have
Either way.
very little idea of what's going on, and if you fail by like a lot, you're probably going to crack a glass orb.
That sounds bad. Let's go for OBS 5. I feel lucky.
Okay. Well, if you're going for OBS 5 and you still have an OB 3, you get the OB 3 information.
Okay. Can I still fork in all the same stuff?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And this is symbology or ancient history, whichever.
Oh. Okay, not obscure history. All right.
Or, no, you can do obscure if you want.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one I was trying to advance. So I'll just keep doing that one. Come on, dice.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So, quickly looking over the door, you notice it's all of the symbology and rhetoric on the wall is talking about protection and protecting everything. But the odd thing is that it's no longer cautioning against like intruders or people around. It's saying that these protections are from people from whatever's inside.
Yeah. Can you give me the name again? I'd like to write down the name that I saw outside.
The name of the corpse?
Oh, yeah.
It was Tudo or something?
It was sort of the K.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly or Keel?
The name of who?
The name that I read outside.
The person we're not supposed to touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. The corpse? Body?
Keladin. Or
Can you spell it for me?
Kilden. Yeah.
I'm making notes.
Sure.
Alright, thanks.
Hang on.
Kilden. There's a D there.
Cool.
The magic D. Alright, gotcha. Alright, thanks. I'm like...
And, yeah. And it's another sort of thing saying, like, protection against... protection with the Kilden's body, so to speak.
Against something else.
Right.
Like, I think that these cultists all gave their life to seal away an evil behind this door. If we could open it, but we'd have to be ready to fight a demon. I've already faced one demon, and I don't want to face it again. Straight up.
We were sent here to find something. I don't think we should leave until we find it.
Well, yeah, I know. I hired you guys. But,
We've come all this way. We've hired these people. I've got a ship waiting to get this out of here if things go badly. Money has been spent. We cannot turn back now.
Ernest is just silent. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Edwin, like, really doesn't want to go in that room. He's like,
Right.
Whatever is past that door, I know I can't deal with it. There are plenty of other places I could dig and not get brutally murdered. Do you want to try and convince Edwin not to be such a wuss?
Yeah. I think Nico is here for a purpose, and will not be dissuaded to turn around. So
my purpose is to learn, and this way Edwin isn't too confident that whatever is behind that door is going to talk to him and not eat his face.
You're talking about a tomb that's probably thousands of years old. What could possibly be behind that door? Nothing that's going to be a problem for us. Probably
demon.
more of these glass orbs.
Sir, when we last encountered a force like this, it left me alone, and I don't know why, but if I go in first, it might leave us alone too.
You think you're protected?
We just
from
have to
the
be
evil?
careful.
I just shrug. I don't know, but so far I haven't been killed by a demon. Maybe we can keep that going.
I should have brought a priest. And Edwin will let you guys open the door. Look it over. Is there some kind of latch on the door?
Did you guys want to, you said, you guys wanted to try and convince people, so, did Nico want to do a persuasion? Or
Yeah.
it sounded like there was some skill tests here.
Yeah, you guys should get some rolls on that.
Yeah, I'll try to persuade you.
To see if Edwin was really convinced.
Yep.
Or,
I would like to help with intimidation, not of my lord, but because basically saying I intimidated the demon because I'm that awesome.
That's pretty
That's
impressive.
What I said, but that's literally the only social. I have that in command, and neither of them are applicable.
Yeah, not against him.
No.
yeah, I don't think from what was said by Buck that it was necessarily intimidation of any sort towards Edwin. So
Nope.
I don't think that'll
I
work.
just said that.
You sounded brave.
That's not
Are
a
you guys
skill.
trying to convince Edwin to go first, or do you guys want to go first?
No,
I offer to go first.
Yeah, it sounded like
Maybe that's how I help. I don't know if I'm allowed to help with the skill, but maybe I can help by basically make it easier to convince you if I'm the one who's risking myself.
well, you have to help with a skill
Okay.
of some sort. So
Well, I
if you don't
mean,
have a particular skill, you can't help.
It changes position, so maybe you would just say the odds is lower.
It's up to you, Golden, if you think that would
Yeah.
make
yeah,
it easier
might
to convince
give me
you.
an advantage.
I think-
It would give Nico the +1 fictional positioning advantage dice. You can
Yeah.
get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
It's not a skill, and I wouldn't get anything.
Ernest doesn't get a plus to any for helping, but it fictionally helps Nico
Okay.
against
Yeah, so,
Lord Edwin's will, I believe.
Yep.
okay.
Of one.
What's your will?
I have 4 will.
All right.
How am I? You're
All
the
right.
one in charge of me.
Okay,
I'm
good.
afraid.
Let's.
I'm roleplaying my character.
Well, you're gonna fucking do what I tell you to do. You've been persuaded.
What do you tell me to do?
I'm just like, look, if we go in, we find what we're looking for, you become known throughout the land as someone who's, found these things. You're gonna know more. You're gonna get your name as an archaeologist just from here. Think about the glory, man.
I will be
could
telling
use
the
more
story.
glory.
If we survive, we'll at least be telling the story to 2 people, 2 families.
That's true. We'll need to tell them. We can't let these people have died for nothing.
Exactly.
All right, I'm in.
Now you're talking my language.
Let's go face this. Let's go face this demon. Are there any weapons laying around? Nothing,
No.
right? Okay.
I have
no
a spare
weapons or
mace. I can give you my spare mace.
Sure, give me the spare mace. I'll take it.
Okay.
I don't have mace
Ernest,
skill.
why didn't you open the door? I'll be back here with my bow knocked. Just in case.
I walk up to the door. How
right
do I
behind
open
him.
it?
I look at the door and I'm
You
like,
daft man, it's a door. Push on it.
I put my hand in a place specifically avoiding the glass orbs and push. See if it moves.
With a gentle push, nothing really happens. With Edwin's roll, though, looking at the door, he did notice where there was 2 separate latches or holes
okay.
on either end of the door.
Like a
So it
combination
looks like
lock thing?
Yeah. There's some sort of combination thing that looks like it would take multiple people to do together.
All right.
Either that or ancient Russian glory holes.
Nako, did you tell me that, or do you just step up and help, or what do you do?
Yeah, I just step up and I go to one side of the door and I tell you, go to that side of the door, and I tell you what to do.
Okay, yeah, I just do what you say. And then we, like, pull on the lever together or something like that.
Right.
Pull the lever.
Well, it's not levers. It's like it almost looks like keyholes or something, but like it's a lot more basic than like a specific key. So it looks like you need to like.
We need to find a key.
Well, not a specific key, but like something to like hit the trigger inside the mechanism, right?
Oh, okay. Well, I have a
Got
mace.
a couple arrows.
Actually, those should work perfectly.
Yeah.
Arrows should work perfectly. Okay.
So.
All right. Don't break them. I don't have many.
I'll be very careful with your arrows. So I take the arrow and I'll like carefully stick it around inside the hole.
Yeah, and I do the same thing. Sir, should we time this to be at the same time?
Sure. On the count of three.
Man.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, yeah.
And
We both
push
do
our
it.
arrows in or rotate them
I,
or whatever.
Missile
Could-
silos open. Nukes are launched.
Could both of you give me an agility test?
All right.
With the ob being the other person's agility?
Ooh,
My agility is
that's
6.
very difficult then.
Ooh, wait, no, that's not it. Wait. Alright, so like I'm trying to like do like a agility is like hand-eye coordination, so like the test is like to make sure like you actually guys do go in sync, right?
Yeah, so maybe that's just like a specific ob for both of us.
Okay. So
Or maybe like I'm watching you do it and then I try and match what you do it. And the
Your
lower
agility
you
is
roll,
way higher than mine.
Yeah, the
Right.
lower you roll,
So-
the higher I have to roll.
Yeah. Well, you're the one counting, so I think it's actually opposite. I have to match you, to be honest, even though yours is higher.
right.
Ob 2, if we're like specifically counting down.
Yeah. Right, because this is sort of routine, right? It's not incredibly easy, but it's not like risky or anything.
Do we have to roll
Like
then?
you're not
Well,
jumping.
we might have
so,
to.
Right. So I guess the idea is right. Like so, something happens if you turn one but not the other one, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So we want to
so
make
I'm
sure.
trying to
we
figure
both-
out. Right.
Cool.
So. Yeah, I want to say ob 2.
Ob 2.
Okay.
And since you're coordinated, you guys both get a +1 advantage die.
All right.
Okay. Come on, hold on.
And just to be clear, at this point, I am about 20 feet back with my bow knocked, aimed at the
What?
Oh, my
What?
modifier. What? I succeeded because my modifier never actually registered. But oh my goodness. Holy crap. You couldn't roll.
That's a lot of 3s and 2s, man.
Now you know why I wanted
Wow.
great perception.
Okay.
This is how I
That's
roll
why
all the
I
time.
should have had.
I always roll
So-
like this.
I want to say something like right when Edwayne says 3, right? Like he actually turns his side, but he turns it the wrong direction, so it just like goes click or whatever, and Ernest's side clicks all the way, and the door sort of starts like parting, like almost like in segments, and as it goes, like each glass ball just drops and then drops and then drops and then goes into the ground, finally hitting the ground and breaking apart. So now there's a big glass cloud coming up across everything.
I think
shit.
as soon as unless we had to hold it there,
Right.
Ernest would have started backing up as soon as the door started opening. He would have still, like, he would have gestured for Lord W to go behind him, and you still would have been in front, but he would have been all about.
But in order to go behind them, he would have had to like go through the cloud to get behind you.
Yeah.
True.
If
Because like
the
you guys are like on each side of the door, and like and so in between you is a quickly expanding gas cloud.
Yeah. I immediately back up. Unless
yeah, just run,
Lord.
I yell, "Hold your breath!"
run.
Oh, yeah, we have the cloth masks on too. That might help.
So
It might.
right. So could the two of you give me a fort test?
9.
I actually didn't hear the ob.
No, me neither. I think he cut out.
I think you're muted. Oh, we lost him.
Did
He
drop?
disconnected. He disconnected again.
To be continued.
Ob 10, guys.
Hello.
Okay,
Oh,
you're
you're
back.
back.
What's the ob?
Fantastic.
I'm sorry. Like right when I said that.
Yeah, you
over,
dropped-
like,
Yeah, you said ob and then just ended.
Cliffhanger.
right. And then from my side, like everything was just still images, and I'm just like, no one's saying anything. I'm 4. I'm
Okay.
Oh,
4.
wow. Okay.
Do we get a +1
Adam.
fictional bonus from having the cloth masks?
Yes, you do.
All right. We might survive this. Unless I roll
Another
nothing
+1
again.
from me yelling, "Hold
Ah!
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, there's a good one.
All right, survive.
Fine.
So
Ernest, no!
yeah. So Ernest immediately, like, something is terribly wrong with your body, right? You begin almost like going into like an epileptic seizure. You just fall into the ground, shaking and convulsing quite violently. Yeah. And Dwayne, he you definitely feel like you breathed something, but like, and it really didn't feel good. But like, you're like a little lightheaded, and that's about it. But
Barely got any of
Yeah, I
it.
had
you're
cough
able
it
to,
out.
yeah. So
And I don't think you guys can like exactly come get me because I'm sort of in the middle of the cloud still, aren't I?
well, no, you're on the side of it, right? So like everything was
Right.
like epicentered
Right.
right in the front of the door.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So help.
I'm right there.
Yeah,
I try
I'll
and
dart
grab
forward,
Ernest.
like-
Do you have like? There's some sort of like agility or dexterity thing I want to say for Nico, because like you like want to try to grab Ernest, right, and bring him out of the cloud, but you don't want to breathe anything, right? So like,
Yeah.
I'm trying
You
to
could
figure
say
out.
like you're holding your breath and you have to roll speed to get out of the cloud before you have to breathe. How's your
Yeah,
Or
score?
it could be like a low fort test to like, hold my breath
Yeah,
as I'm pulling him out.
yeah.
I have bad news. I'm wearing very heavy plate mail.
Yeah.
Shield.
Well, we're not going to pick
So
it up.
actually, right. Well,
True.
well,
You're just
he's
dragging.
heavy enough. Like, yeah. So it sounds like a power test then,
Okay.
Yep.
in order to be able to exert enough force without having to breathe. I'm not sure how to gauge that though. I mean, it is going to be risky, which puts it around 3 or 4. Hold on, let me see. Task by difficulty. It's not extremely difficult. It's just difficult and requires concentration. So Ob 3 power test to pull Ernest out of the cloud.
Okay.
I'm definitely
Edwin, are you
helping.
assisting?
Yeah, I'm helping you.
Okay.
Okay. So if you fail, you'll drag him out, but you will have had to like take a breath to like one last lurch, and you would take a big breath of the air.
All right. When I die, I blame you, Primarch.
It's actually all Golden Skulls.
It's all my
Oh, you made
fault.
it. Cool. Okay. Cool.
You're the one counting. You just did it wrong. I don't think your character would ever admit it.
Clockwise or counterclockwise? Damn it. Is it righty tighty? I can never remember.
Exactly.
Right. Well, the door did open.
True.
And as soon as you get that, all of a sudden you hear this huge, like, pressure differential. I want to say almost like this
Ooh.
weird like thing
Like it
that
used to
makes
be a
your ears-
vacuum.
right? That makes your ear pop or something. And all of a sudden, this huge blast of what you want to say is like the coldest things you have ever felt. Cold air just rush throughout
Wow.
the cave, howling and whispering, and like this huge.
If it wasn't for the horrifying terror,
But
it would be
blow
quite
away
refreshing.
that crap.
It did. It did blow away all the poison.
We get like
Okay.
frost on our
Am I still
bodies.
seizing?
Yes, so all of everything like instantly condensed, and so like like everyone is like covered in this weird cold sweat now. But yeah, so Ernest is still convulsing and really not doing well. Something needs to be done fairly soon.
Man.
Let's see here. Hold on, let me pull up a.
Nico's first reaction is to pull out his like water skin and just wash his face off to get any like remaining crap
Right.
off of him.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I'm convulsing. I can't do anything.
I don't think
It's
there's
like for me, it's
anything
like
to do.
I'm
There's
unconscious.
a health test for you.
Okay.
Oh,
Ernest.
yeah,
I'm trying to figure out what it is though.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know.
We could always amputate.
That's going to be a hard roll. We have 3 minutes left. Do we want to take a break?
We have a couple minutes, so maybe let's make that health test first.
Yeah, let's. So
Okay.
I want to say it's an OB 5 health test.
Ooh.
Health of 4.
Ouch.
I'll give you an advantage though because Nico said he was like
He did drag me
helping you
out.
off and
Yeah, he's-
drag you out and everything.
That again, for some reason, it won't register. Yeah, I have to manually select the thing to get it to register. The possibility. Nope.
Oh.
The possibility of a modifier.
Nope. All right. So yeah, you are definitely. Your body is like fighting everything. It has no idea what's going on, and it is not gonna help you in any way for quite a while.
Okay.
You are pretty screwed right now.
Well, so much for going in first.
Yeah. So someone is gonna have to help him, and pretty quickly.
Yeah, I can't do anything.
I mean, I have no.
The only
What
one
are
with medicines.
the untrained skills, I guess? I'll take a look. See if
There would be like herbalism, field dressing, surgery,
Yeah.
childbearing.
No.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
Let me take a look through the skills real quick here. See what I can help with the best.
Oh, we should be able to.
Well, today it's just the last 2 days have just been all sorts of adventure for my
What are
character.
the odds?
It depends on the skill. Here we go. Apothecary, bloodletting, child rearing, field dressing, herbalism, chirurgy, nursing,
Okay.
and surgery.
KRG is just old surgery, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, just tell me whichever one is the lowest odds, because I'll have to make an untrained roll. They're all perception, so I should have a decent chance. If it's only like obs 1 or 2. Also, which one needs equipment?
They all need equipment.
They all need equipment, so yeah, we're not going to make this roll.
Some of them only need traveling gear equipment, though.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the one we'll be using.
Field dressing, I think, does as well.
I'm not seeing nursing in the skill list. That's weird.
Do we want to check this out while we take a break and then return?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
All right. We'll be back while we read the rule book and try and figure out how to save Ernest.
Ow, to have me not die due to poison
In
gas.
the first session, this is like we're playing D&D
This is
again.
like Wes March's.
Every D&D game I've ever played.
Sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, we'll be back in 5 minutes, or when we figure out how to save Ernest's character.
Right. Don't worry, we have a rotating GM, so we'll learn to get you back.
Ordinary people chasing stars, stop and wonder who